Alright guys, so here's an addition to the previous video that we talked about on how to load the Belmont tubing. This is going to be how to prime the machine. So we have loaded everything, we've turned the machine on, it's done its self-check, and it is now telling me here on the screen that we are ready to connect fluid bags and we want to unclamp some lines. So I have a normal saline bag attached here. Again, remember, normal saline is the only fluid we need to be using on this machine. And then I have a second bag of normal saline, which we could, our bag of blood. But I just want to point out that I have this clamped, because if I have them both unclamped at the same time, that fluid is going to backflow into the bag that has the least amount in it. So it's very important that you can only administer one product at a time. But to get started, we're going to prime the machine. I'm going to tap the prime button. It tells you how many mLs are left to go. And actually it's giving us the signal that it's not priming because I did not unclamp for it to actually start. So that's an important point to remember, to check all of your clamps before you start priming. It's now telling me that we have primed the tubing that is located in the machine, and we are at a point where we can start priming the patient line. So we can tap patient line and it's going to slowly prime. If I want that to go faster, I can push and hold prime my patient line and it will go much faster. It's very important that we get the air out of this machine. Once I have primed that line, I'm going to press stop, and it's going to give me the option to infuse or prime some more. I'm going to tap infuse. I want to point out that the machine is very good at communicating with us and telling us what is wrong, because there could be a variety of different things that need to be evaluated. It could be air in the tubing. It could be there is a high pressure alarm because something is not infusing as fast as we would like. But we're going to tap infuse and we're going to get the screen that gives us lots of options. The temperature of the Belmont is located here. Please remember, if it is not plugged in, it will not warm. And if it's not plugged in, it will tell you that it's not warming. This is your pressure calibration. This will tell you how fast that your machine is actually working. We have our volume, so it'll keep tabs of our volume, and then we can adjust the rate. We can either adjust it manually, we can do a quick tap of 500 mLs per minute, and that will bolus, or we can just do a quick bolus. I'm going to go ahead and tap 500 mLs per minute because we really want to get this fluid in fast. And so as I do that, you're going to hear this machine really kick up, and it's going to go. Some of the difficulties I think we've been experiencing is we get a high pressure alarm, which I'm going to trigger that to happen. And so you can see here it says high pressure detected, and that's because I squeezed the line. So when I let go of that, I can hit next, and it's going to resume what I had asked it to do before. I'm going to go ahead and stop, and let's talk just a minute about if you get to the point where you get a high pressure or a high air alert, be mindful that we can open the chamber door. And when you get an air alarm, you want to check this bubbler, give it a squeeze. I always check and squeeze the tubing underneath it. I'm going to close my door, and I'm going to try again at the rate that the provider wants us to administer. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're delivering 500 mLs per minute. So if you got a 1,000 ml bag, it's going to take 2 minutes for that to go. So once that is done, I need to recognize that I'm going to run out of fluid. I can clamp my current one and open my next one so that we can keep flowing. But you do have to clamp and open in a sequence. They cannot all be opened at the same time. So it's really important that one person is probably going to be responsible for managing the Belmont when we're administering products. And you're going to have to go in a sequence of getting your reds and your yellows loaded on there and administering one at a time. And it's just kind of a constant rotation until the provider tells us to stop infusing or we stop the MTP process. Couple key points. Keep the machine plugged in. If it is not plugged in, you're going to see that it is going to drop from 500 mLs a minute to 50, and it's now telling us the battery and there's no heating. So that is because it is not able to operate at the speed as if it was plugged in. We already talked about not using warm fluids on this machine because it has an automatic warmer when it's plugged in. The screen, when you're getting some errors on here, it will prompt you on what type of error you have, so just be mindful to read that. It can be really challenging when we're in those critical moments, but do take a look because it will tell you if it's a high pressure alarm or if it is empty. There's a variety of things it's going to communicate with you. Keep in mind the size of your line is going to adjust on the pressure and the ability of how fast we can infuse. So if you have a small line, it's not going to infuse very fast. The larger the line, the quicker you will get your fluids and your products in. If you need to adjust the bubbler, give it a squeeze, reseat it back in there so that sensor can evaluate it. If you have given a significant number of products, remember red blood cells, and you're yellow, but let's say you've given a significant amount of blood products and you're noticing that it's kind of bogging down, you can hit this recirculation button and it's going to recirculate everything in your chamber, and then you're going to stop that when you feel it's been appropriate. Hit stop and then you can start reinfusing. We already said have one bag open at a time. Your line is super important, and just remember your fluids will take the path of least resistance. So if you have more than one clamp open from your 3-spike bag, it is going to backflow into the bag. If you have any questions you want to practice, please let us know. We're more than happy to get this out and have some live demonstrations. And then we did put some references on each machine here, so it does talk to you about how to load it and to do some troubleshooting. Thanks, guys.